Hey folks, Crazy Cajun here. My daughter Tab's with me this morning, and we're going to be making some homemade buttermilk biscuits and some homemade sausage gravy. Tab's going to do the biscuit portion while I'll do the sausage gravy portion.
Alright, so we have placed 2 cups of flour in here with 1/4 cup of shortening. I've used my hand to crumble it together all into, if you want to come look and see, you can see how it's all been crumbled together. And then now we're going to take the buttermilk. We're going to do 2/3 cups of buttermilk. And we're going to come over here to the KitchenAid. And we're just going to pour it in there. Get the dough hook.
So how much buttermilk?
We're doing 2/3 cups of buttermilk that we're pouring in here, and then that makes the dough. If you want to come in here, you see how it's just mixing in there, and then that will mix for a while, and then that will form our dough. So now we have done our buttermilk. If you want to come look and see, we've got the dough that's forming, and I've kind of added just a little more buttermilk throughout because some of it was still a little dry. So all you do is just add buttermilk until you get that kind of consistency that you want, and then it makes this, I'm just kind of working it in the KitchenAid bowl, and then if you look and see, now that's a lot of flour down there. Kind of portion that out. And then we've got our biscuit dough that we will we'll just form it kind of a little like this, and then we will cut our biscuits. Okay. All right, so now we have our biscuit cutter. So all we do is simply do that, and then it makes a nice little circle dough piece, and then we come over here and we just stick it. We've taken some of our butter and we've greased the pan with our butter, and then we're going to pour some of this butter on top, and it's going to make a nice buttery biscuit. Alright, so now that we have all of our biscuits cut, I'm just taking this little almost paintbrush, and we're just coating the top of the biscuits. If you want to come look and see. We're coating the top of the biscuit with the butter. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of the butter in there for it to kind of sit and cook on the butter. And then that'll be it. Alright, so now we've taken our biscuits out. You can see that they're a nice golden brown. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that butter that we had from when we first put them in the pan, and I'm just going to coat each biscuit with a little bit of melted butter, and then they'll be ready for our sausage gravy or for anything else we choose to eat with them.
For our sausage gravy, I like to use the Jimmy Dean original regular 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of whole milk. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open this up, and I'm going to saute it in the pan on a medium fire and just kind of keep breaking up that sausage so it gets a good brown. And then I'll show you when to put the flour and the milk in. Come on in and see what we have going on. So I like to use a spatula when I'm cooking this down. See, it's starting to brown. I did add a little avocado oil, and I just kind of break it up with the spatula and flip it and stir it. And it's just going to get a little more brown before we move to the next step. Well, nothing like having a cup of Java while cooking your breakfast. If you come on in, I've now switched to the spoon. You can see it's a good brown. I've lowered the fire down to a medium low. And what we'll do, we'll sprinkle 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We'll get that stirred and incorporate it. Just like that. And then we're going to start adding our milk slowly. We'll add probably the 2 cups, we'll add it 3 times. Because we want to pour a little bit, spread it, stir it, let that thickness so you're getting it good and thick. And we'll pour some more. Remember, whole milk. And we'll get that going. And what we're going to do, once we have all that milk in here, we're going to let it cook till it comes to a bubbly boil. Not too bubbly, but as you see, it's starting to boil. And then you'll turn it down to a 2, which is a really low fire. Electric stove 2. If gas stove, just a real low fire. And then you'll set a timer for 2 minutes. But I'll also add my Slap Your Mama. And then once that 2-minute expires, you just stir it about and serve it up over your homemade biscuits or store-bought biscuits, whatever you like. Come on in and see what I was talking about. See how it's just bubbling? It's starting to boil. We'll give that a stir. We'll lower that fire down. We'll add our Slap Your Mama. And then we'll set the timer for 2 minutes and then it'll be ready. If it gets too thick, you just add a little more milk as needed. I like to also add a little butter to my biscuits. I mean, it's totally a preference thing. These are the biscuits that Todd made earlier. The gravy, sausage gravy is now ready. Come see, I like a thick one. You might not like yours as thick, but I like a thick one. And I just spoon this on here and we'll just take a good old bite and see how this tastes. All right, let me cover that up. Come over here. First bite with a homemade biscuit and homemade sausage gravy. And of course our cup of Java. Let's go ahead and take that bite. Oh my goodness. This is so delicious. More to come. See you soon.